Hello, online crew. Look at all these beautiful faces that I have here with me today. We have a special collaboration today with some of the students in my VIP mentorship program, and we are talking about prospecting. We are talking about conversations that we want to raise and lead and shift in Messenger so you can get people to where you want them to go in the conversation. I do believe prospecting and having conversations is one of the hardest things for people in this industry to really get confident with. But when you do get confident with raising conversations and having posture with conversations, then it just makes it so much easier to be able to raise our business with people and say, hey, would you have a look? So these people here are in the industry. They are building their businesses like I am, like you probably are in relation to, building online. Even if you're building a little bit offline, you're still probably communicating with people in Messenger and starting those conversations, through Messenger, because that's the kind of world that we live in. We're text messaging or we're in Messenger. Like, how many people pick up the phone these days? And I know from my perspective, having a global business, which hopefully some of you do as well, that's the way we communicate. I don't pick up the phone and talk to any of these guys. It's just not, like, that would cost me a fortune. Like, we're in Messenger, all day long. So this is the modern world that we live in. So I just want to start off by kind of elaborating a little bit myself, my motto. Something that I really think is really important in relation to posture and having conversations and having authentic conversations is to be a human before a marketer. You all know how to talk to people in person. If you met somebody for the first time, you went to a party, you were, meeting people, you know how to talk. So I don't know what happens when people get into Messenger about prospecting, people for their business. They suddenly go, I don't know what to say. I don't want to say the wrong thing. So I'm not going to say anything at all. So, they just forget to be a human. When you come from the right place and you're a human before a marketer, and you really are in tune with helping people rather than what you can get from people, then I think the conversation just flows a lot better. So that's really something important to remember. Just be you and care about people. Care about people in what you can help them with. If that's a health product or a business opportunity, helping people make money, or you've got a product or a service that can benefit people, then that's what's important, and that's where you need to be that human before a marketer. So let's go around and see, because these guys, as I said before, they're building in the industry, they're prospecting, they're doing this, they're living and breathing it. So what tips do you guys have for our audience today in relation to prospecting with posture and confidence? So Donna, you're next to me on my screen. So what would you like to share with us today?
Wow, I get to go first. Thanks, Helen. So great to be here. Thanks for inviting me. It's my first collaboration with all of you guys. And I'm so happy to be here and talk about the tips to prospect with posture and confidence. So I'm coming to you from my home in Central Florida, and I'm really happy to be here. So thanks. So my topic that I want to talk about today, and I have some notes here, so I'll be looking over at them because I don't want to go off track. Building relationships and creating genuine connections can really help create posture and confidence with your prospects. So I'm going to just give 3 tips to help build relationships when prospecting. The first one is to build trust. Trust is essential for building a business, a successful business. Building relationships helps you to establish trust and credibility. And as Helen always says, as she's taught us, prospects are more likely to do business with someone they trust and feel connection with. So when I have focused on building relationships, being genuinely interested in the other person, I've been able to build trust and build relationships easily. So people like people who show interest in them and who, well, if that interest is genuine, it just creates a strong foundation for a real relationship. The second tip is to build a network. So by focusing on building relationships, you can cultivate a network of loyal customers and team members who will support you. So when you build a strong relationship with your customer or team member, they're more likely to refer you to others in their network. And we all know that referrals are really a powerful way to grow a business. I mean, don't we all refer? I refer my hairdresser and my doctor and my favorite restaurant. So making people feel valued and supportive can help you attract like-minded individuals to your network who will share your vision and your goals and share their network with you. The last one, and that just goes right back to what I've been saying: be genuine and authentic. So people like people who show interest in them, and if that interest is genuine, people can tell. If it's not, they know when you're not being authentic. So it creates a strong foundation for your relationships. So just listen actively, show empathy, and provide a value by offering solutions to their needs and problems. And remember to follow up with them regularly. Don't forget about them, or let them think that you have forgotten about them. Stay in touch with your network, even if they don't buy from you right away. We all want customers, but relationships are more important. So just to recap, focus on building relationships. It's a critical component of successful prospecting. And that's what I wanted to share with you today.
There are so many things in what you just shared there that, I'm just continuously nodding my head. Like the trust, building trust is trust comes from people knowing that you care about them before you care about the sale. Skepticism goes up when people feel like it's more about the sale than it is about caring for them and whatever solution it is that you're going to solve. So it's so many good points in there, Donna. Thank you. It's, that genuineness and being authentic and being real just aligns with what I said before about being a human before a marketer. So great tips there. Thank you, Donna. Jeanette, what have you got for us today?
Hi. Thanks for letting me come on Collaboration today. My name's Jeanette Newman, and my tip is how to be a good listener. I was never good at this, but I'm learning how to be a good listener. So what is being a good listener? I've got notes, so I'll just be dodging at them every now and again. So I found out that there's a skill called active listening. I'd never heard of this term before, and I thought, well, what does that mean? And it means that you develop a rapport with the person you're either speaking to or you're messaging with, so that they understand that you're paying attention. So the technique is where you fully concentrate on the person, understanding and responding to the message they are giving you. It's so important for you to listen to them, whether it's messaging or speaking. So I've got 6 tips. I hope I get through them all really quickly. Paying attention. Active listening requires that you pay or you focus on the speaker and what they are saying and eliminate any distractions, that's noises, and giving the speaker your undivided attention. So for me, I would rather do that when I'm on my own, in my own quiet space, so that I'm not having to deal with my darling and the dog or anything else, and I'm just focusing on what I'm doing. So that person has my undivided attention. Showing interest is a little bit different, because you're nodding if you're speaking, so they know that you're listening to them, or you're typing saying, I understand, and all those sort of things when you need to answer back what they've written. paraphrasing. Helen tells us to do this all the time. Repeat back to the person what they've said to you so that they understand that you are listening to them. Asking questions, open-ended questions. This is a technique to clarify the speaker's message, niche it down, clarify that speaker's message so that they know, oh, she's listening and she's picking up on points or things that they need to convey to you. Providing feedback. That is also another key element. It helps to validate what the speaker's message is and let them know that you understand what they're saying. So all this time, it's not about you. It's about them. You're providing them with everything they need to know and understand that you're listening. And the sixth one, which I think is really, really important, is suspending judgment. So this means that you are avoiding interrupting them or responding defensively because you're trying to create a space for them, for the speaker to express themselves openly and honestly. In summary, we're active listening by paying attention, showing interest, paraphrasing, asking questions, providing feedback, and suspending judgment. And when we do this, when we do these skills, we are showing our confidence and posture to our new prospects.
I think thanks, Jeanette. I think the important thing to take away from that is, the real deep listening, because a lot of people don't know how to do it, and people like the sound of their own voice. So a lot of people in network marketing will end up doing too much talking. Like a real good indication if you're doing it wrong is that if you look back on your messenger or you think about a conversation that you've had, even if that's in Zoom or in person, if you're the one that's done all the talking, you probably haven't done a very good job of making that person feel heard. You want to just ask questions and stop and listen, and then pick on something that they've said. Like when you're really deep listening, you're actually picking up on something that they've said, and then you repeat it back to them and then ask another question. So you are really having a deep conversation and they feel heard. I've been told a number of times, and it's just kind of my personality now. It's not something I've necessarily even learnt to do, but some people unawares to me, like it just must be how I engage myself in some conversations. People have said, you are such a good listener. And it's caught me off guard because it's like, why would you say that? But it's just me really engaging in a conversation and being really curious about what the person is saying and asking them questions and going deeper so they feel like I really care. So, we have one mouth and two ears for a very good reason. So use more of this and less of this when you're prospecting. So great tips. Thanks, Jeanette. Monica, what would you like to share with us?
Hi, everyone. My name is Monica, and I'm coming to you live from Montreal, Canada. This is my first collaboration, so I'm excited and extremely thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me. Today, I want to talk to you about the importance of creating a rapport with your potential clients. Mm-hmm. How many of us, have walked into a retail store only to be greeted by like an overzealous salesperson who wants to sell you everything in the store? They haven't given you the opportunity to actually look around the store. Another example, you're about to sit down and have dinner with your family and the phone rings and it's a telemarketer. And all you're thinking is now is not a good time. Those are just a few of examples, how we've all experienced this from time to time. And just to think, one of the things we have to think is how it made us feel at that time. My usual response is, I'm not looking to buy anything at this moment. Those are just a few examples how we should never underestimate the power of casual conversation. Your approach can either make or break the conversation. The top people in our network marketing industry, they know not to just jump right into the products or to talk about the opportunity. They know how important it is to take time to get to know their potential clients. So today I want to talk to you about how to make a real connection with your prospects. My first suggestion would be to first do your research before you approach them. So let's say if you're approaching someone on social media, take a look at their profile, find out what their interests are before you actually approach them. Once you've initiated the conversation, you've greeted them and everything, you need to figure out how to lead the conversation in the direction that you'd like it to go into. One of the ways to do this is to think about the acronym LEAD. So that's LEAD as a method to follow. So I'm going to review this acronym with you. So the first one is listen, number one. So practice active listening. Pay attention to what the other person is saying and display a general interest in what they're telling you, in their thoughts, in their feelings. One way you can do this is, and Helen tells us all the time, is reiterate what they've just said to you, and ask questions about what they've said as well. I also have notes that I'll be glancing to from time to time. This will make them feel, respected and heard, and they're more likely going to be willing to continue the conversation. Number two is edify. Ask the person what they do and compliment them. For example, if I was interacting with someone who's in the medical field, I would probably go about approaching, just talking with them in this manner. I would say, oh, you've mentioned that you are a nurse. I've always, admired nurses and people who are in the healthcare profession. It takes, a really special person to do that type of job. It must give you so much satisfaction to take care of others in need. And number three, ask, as I know Jeanette has already mentioned, ask open-ended questions. Don't just ask questions that are, that are going to give you a yes or a no response. Ask questions that are going to that are going to require a more elaborate type of answer. This will encourage the person to talk more, and it will probably, help the conversation flow in the direction that you'd like it to. Your job is, one thing we have to remember, your job is not only to, discover like the prospect's needs or what their troubles are. It's also to figure out what are their dreams, what are their aspirations. And, one of the things we know is that we know everyone's favorite topic is to talk about themselves. So get them talking. Yeah. Number four is deliver. It's important to make a real connection with your prospects before delivering the sale. I'm going to warn you, try not to skip directly to this step. You need to have built a genuine connection, as the others have mentioned before me, before delivering the sale. Think of a way of how you can prove to the prospect that you're actually interested in helping them find a solution to their problem. For example, you can say, I've been thinking, based on everything you've told me, you might benefit from what I'm doing. It has helped me. It may be something that interests you. It might not, but I'd be really happy to share this information with you. Lastly, what I want you to remember is leading a conversation is not just about dominating it or talking more. It's really about creating a comfortable environment where everyone feels free to express themselves and share their thoughts and ideas. That's all I have for now. But before I leave, I'd love to share a quote with you all by Brian Tracy that has really resonated with me. So here goes. Concentrate on the activities of prospecting, presenting, and follow-up. The sales will take care of themselves. And that's all for me. Thank you so much for listening to me today.
Yeah, love that. And, just to reiterate, when you really look after people, when you're a human before you're a marketer, you do the listening that Jeanette and Monica shared, when you do, even Donna mentioned the follow-up as well. When you really look after people, you really listen, you really delve into what their, problems are, the money will come. Like, that saying that if you help people get what they want, you'll get everything that you want. So you think of the products and the services that you offer. If you help more people get, what the solutions that they're looking for, the money will come. So yeah, really good quote. Loved all of that. Thank you, Monica. So remember that acronym to follow by as well, LEAD. So just, replay the video if you need that explanation and write it down. So thank you very much, Monica. Steve, what have you got for us today?
Oh, my name is Steve McNeil, and thank you, Helen. I appreciate you letting me speak, and I enjoy being here. Understanding your clients' needs and goals is an important element to sales. I think everyone would agree with that. We definitely need to ask questions, and we also need to listen, as a lot of our collaborators here had already mentioned. But I want to dive in a little bit more on a specific reason for that. When we're talking about asking questions, we want to try to get to the root problem. We want to establish what the true pain point is. So when we ask questions, we don't want to ask surface level questions, because that's usually going to give us a surface level answer. We want something that is going to, is that me?
No, it's me. Sorry.
Okay.
Apple products.
I hear a background noise. I didn't know if it was my microphone giving feedback. Yeah. But we want to ask deeper level questions. And as a lot of these collaborators had mentioned, we want to talk about asking questions to get them to talk. But we want to try to expose as many pain points as we can. So if we ask a question and dive deeper, then those surface level problems may show up. But we want to go deeper to expose as many pain points as we can, because every pain point is an opportunity to help that client and also win you a sale. Okay. So how do we go about doing that? We talked about open-ended questions. We want to ask questions, and I've got one written down here that I wanted to just give you an idea when you're talking about open-ended questions. What factors do you believe are contributing to your concern, whatever that concern or pain point might be? That's an open-ended question. So now you're going to get more than just a yes or no answer, and it's going to give you a little bit more detail to expose what that pain point might be. When it comes to confidence, understanding your product or your service and how it can help many people is also important. You need to know your product. You need to know your service. That's going to build confidence in your ability to help them as those pain points become exposed. Now it's story time. I always have a story. I like telling stories. I'm going to drive this message home with a story about when I was sent out to talk to a retail store owner when I was working for a security company in Houston. And this guy had a retail store. It was kind of like a dollar store. So I met, we'll say his name was Frank. I met Frank, and he already had a security system in the store that was owned by the company, and he wanted to get it activated. That's all I knew. So when we go in and we ask questions, we're doing a needs assessment to try to determine where their pain points are, right? Exactly. So I talked to Frank and I explained to him, okay, I understand you just opened this up. Are you concerned about, getting a security alarm system? Have you ever been broken into before? And the answer was yes. When you get something that's relative to what you've experienced yourself, let them know that, because that immediately gives them relatability. I told him I was a business owner and my business was busted into in Houston, so I can relate. Do you want level 1, 2, or 3, or all 3 levels of security? He said, what's the difference? Level 1 security is alarm system. Level 2 security is a cellular alarm backup. So if they cut the line, that cellular signal will still send the alarm out to the police department. And level 3 is going to be your camera system. He said, well, let's talk about level 1. How much would it cost to activate? So I told him. He pounded his fist on the desk or on the table and said, Steve, if I find a company that's $6 a month cheaper, that's the company I'm going to go with. That's high to me. What do you do with that one? I said, well, Frank, let me ask you a question. $6 a month is $72 a year. If you were to go with a company that was $6 cheaper, what makes you think that that company is going to give you a better value for $72 a year? He says, well, I don't know. I said, okay. Our company protects the Pentagon and our company protects the White House. Now, granted, you're not the White House and you're not the Pentagon. Oh, and we also protect Fort Knox. This isn't Fort Knox, but this is your Fort Knox, isn't it? He thought about that for a minute. I said, there's a reason why we're number one. And I'll leave you with that and think about that. If there's nothing more I can say to him other than explain that to him. Then when he talked about, well, I'll give some thought to that. I says, the next thing you don't want level 2 security alarm backup system. That's fine. When you're talking about camera systems, I understand that the community that you're in, a large majority of the community likes to go to Sam's Wholesale Club to get their surveillance cameras from there for about $800. I don't understand, and I ask the community all the time, why would you buy a security or camera system from a place that's selling pickles on one aisle and toilet paper on the other, where this is all we do? If you really think that security system is good, why is it that Sam's Wholesale Club uses our security system to protect Sam's? And I'm smiling the whole time. And I left it at that. I said, Frank, just let me know what you decide. And I didn't pressure him. I didn't push him. I went down the street, pulled into Burger King. And before I left for lunch, he's called me back. Hey, Steve, I'd like to sign up with you. No pressure, but you have to establish what the pain point was. The pain point with him was price. So I immediately had to go to value to explain what the difference in value for $72 a year was going to give him. And in doing so, I got the sale and I helped the customer. Yeah. So those are the things we want to think about.
Yeah, I think a couple of 2 points really to take out of that is the value proposition. People want more these days out of us. It's not just, buying a product anymore. People are price sensitive. People are spoiled for choice. So people are, that value proposition. If you want to have results with your prospects and sell what you sell, like there's plenty of other network marketing companies out there that are selling similar products to you. There's business opportunities everywhere. There's hundreds, if not, thousands of network marketing companies out there. What's different about yours? You've got to position that value. So you've got to get really good at that. But what comes with that value proposition is your posture. So it's not only posture in what Steve said earlier about knowing what it is that you do, it's in belief that you can provide it. And I do find a lot of people in this industry lack a little bit of that belief in themselves that they can, really help somebody. So you've got to have that posture in how you deliver it, because you believe that what you have, your products, your services, or your business opportunity can really help people, and that you've got posture around that. So it doesn't matter if somebody says no. It doesn't matter if somebody gets objections. You're already versed and have skills, to talk about objections like Steve did with the price. He just upped the value to make it worth it for that person. That's what you guys need to do in this industry as well. So a couple of really good points there. Okay, Miss Laurie, what have you got for us today?
Wow,
guys, we're almost there.
Huh?
Sorry, I was just saying we're almost there. We're getting through everyone.
Well, you can almost pass me up because you just kind of rounded out what I was gonna share.
Well, I did, or Steve did.
You did.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. So, what I wanted to talk, first of all, thank you very much for letting me be here. And my name's Laurie Andrus, and I'm from Tennessee. So what I wanted to talk about today is how we get up here in our brains the belief in what we're doing. Mm-hmm. Because if you're questioning what you're doing, it comes out your mouth. It doesn't matter what words you say, it comes out your mouth. So you have to cultivate a strong belief in your product or your service. If you are trying to peddle, if you will, something that you're not 100% totally sold out to, I think you're going to struggle. So before you like get into the active prospecting, you have to develop a deep belief in the value and the benefits of what you're offering. And you need to understand the value and the benefits yourself to be able to relay that through your words.
Yeah.
And when you're communicating then with your prospects eventually, you have to let that belief shine through, right? You can't say, man, I got this stuff. I take it every day. It's awesome. You have to be like, oh my word, you can't believe the difference that this whatever has made in my life. And I have to tell everybody because I'm so excited about it. And what you have to tell your face, to show up to the party. So, and then, it's kind of a snowball effect. In doing that, you literally connect with them in a much deeper, genuine way without even realizing it. And you wind up building trust, right? Because people feel that. And again, it's not the words that are coming. You can say the exact right thing. But if there's a connection up here about, I really hope they're buying this, they're going to know it. So that's my short little tip is whatever you have to do, whether it's research in your company, research the product, find testimonials, do something, not that you're going to share all that with them, but do whatever you have to do to get that absolute sold out belief in what you're doing, and it'll come through.
Yeah, amazing, Laurie. And that's the difference between what I say all the time, information versus emotion. What you just shared there and the way that you share your message and the posture around that and the confidence you have around that is emotion, because you're excited about it or you're knowledgeable about it or you believe in it, and people they can feel that energy from you. If you just talk about it, I've got this little side gig, I'm in a health and wellness company and we help people, do this or, whatever. It's like, wow, she seems really excited. If you're not excited, don't expect anybody else to get excited with you. So, to Laurie's point, whatever you need to do to build your posture and your belief in what it is you're doing and what it is you're offering, that absolutely comes out in your prospecting. If you don't have that confidence, you won't relay that in your words, in your English language. It just won't come out that way. When you truly believe in something and you're excited about something, I mean, when somebody's excited about something, don't you? Like their whole body language is different. Their tone of voice is different. They're probably, talking a little bit louder and they're talking a little bit more excited, or they might even be a little bit more animated or something like that. I remember years ago in this industry when I was really excited. Not that I'm not excited now, but I was really excited about the opportunity, my previous company, when I first joined. And somebody said to me, I don't even know what it is you're really doing, Helen, but you're so excited, I need to be part of it. It kind of really shocked me that somebody even said that to me, and I didn't even realize how much posture I had around it, but I truly believed in it, and that obviously came off in spades. So really important. Thanks, Laurie. That was awesome. Okay, Yvette, what have you got for us?
Well, what I have for you tonight is to let you know more about how to create confidence and posture with our prospects. Hello, everybody. My name is Yvette Gurel from the great state of Virginia. So, Laurie started the conversation. Strong belief. What I had here was to present your offer with clarity and conviction. So, whatever you're offering to your prospects, you should be clear in what you're offering. So your messaging, whatever the product, whatever it is, the service, to be very, very clear and concise. Use simple language so you can make the connection. So it should be clear. So they should understand what is it that you're offering. So if you're offering iPhone 8, if that's your product, if you're offering a health and wellness product, whatever it does, you should yourself know that this particular product is going to do this particular thing. So you should be clear that, because that's going to come out through your conversation. Then you should have conviction, because you know that you know that you know that you know. You're not asking. You know for yourself. And that's why in the business of network marketing, they always say you must be a product of your product. Okay? So when you go into a conversation trying to be confident, if you don't know the information, if you don't have knowledge about around what you're trying to offer, then you're going to be like really shilly-shally, really weak. You're not going to come across, because as Lori just said, you can get the vibe. You feel the energy. Helen talks about excitement. When you have conviction and clarity around something, you're excited. Very excited. Even if you haven't sold a bottle or you haven't earned a team member, but you know that this thing works. You're just waiting for the numbers to catch up. So how do we do that in our social media marketing? So many different strategies are out there, but the one that particularly can take everything and wrap it up in a bundle and bring it home is live video. You present your case. You come on, hey, my name is Yvette Garrell, and I'm here to tell you how to travel better for less, or I have the perfect solution for your skin, your eczema, whatever that is, And so, because now I'm going to be like, okay, they're going to, oh, that's my situation. That's what I've been having a problem with. So now you touch some pain points. Somebody mentioned that. They have that pain bothering them. They have that problem, and they're trying to be like, oh man, I've been suffering with this thing for years. Now somebody's speaking to me. And so you start to give that kind of information around that offer. They're going to be listening. I'm sure your prospect is going to, oh, they kind of know what's going on in my life over here. How do they know that? So they create that connection that Monica talks about, and it's all wrapped up. But if you're not clear and have a conviction around what you're offering, we're gonna be like really not getting the message across. So, and how do we do that? We have tons and tons of ways to do that. And as I said, live video is a very, very perfect way, because then they not only see you, they not only hear from you, then you're presenting what you have, they see your energy, they can make eye contact, they can ask you a question, and then you get the engagement, and that's sold. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Yvette. It all comes back to what we were sharing before about belief as well, because that kind of conviction comes from you really believing in what it is that you do. And when you do those live videos and put that offer out there, you will do it with confidence. And, when you feel you need to, you're not going to push it and do it all the time. But when you do make that offer, you will be confident about it. And what we're trying to do, especially on social media, is just weed out the person that do want what you have and get rid of the people that don't. And when you've got conviction and you put an offer out there and you're proud of the offer because you believe in it, then those people that are in your target market, they'll grab. So, it's not, you don't ever have to be embarrassed about putting an offer out there when you feel that confident about something. And if somebody doesn't want what you have, you want them to go away. You don't want them to continue to listen to you. They're not in your target market. But those that are, when you're confident and you've got that posture and you feel confident about putting an offer out there, you might be surprised at what actually happens. So that's all, part of having the posture, because if you never ask, some people won't even know what you do. They won't even know what it is that you have to offer unless you get confident in asking for the offer. And, we're all here to do that at the end of the day. You can give value, give value, give value, give value, give value. But if you never let people know what you do with posture and conviction and, ask for the call to action at the end of it, you're probably leaving money on the table, to be honest. All right, we're almost there. Finish it off, Cherie. Bring us home. What do you got for us?
Well, my tip to go along with Prospecting with Posture and Confidence is being authentic in sharing you and your journey. As it's been said already, people can tell if you're not really being you. And I'm one of those people, I'm kind of animated at times. I like to use my hands and I talk, and that's really why I love being on live video, because people can really see that. But I also am learning how to do that in my stories and in my post, and I'm doing more deep thinking about what I'm doing, what I'm saying, who I'm trying to talk to, and being more myself. And as I do that, then my confidence exudes, my posture exudes, and I have the ability to speak and do whatever it is. And it's like I marry the process and divorce the outcome. I just go from there, and that's why I love doing live video, because I can talk with my hands, and I'm not trying to write something, type it up and wrong words, or it seems like it's better for me when the wrong word pops out of my mouth and I can say, oh, okay, that wasn't the right word, and I can change it around. But, posture to me and confidence comes from being able to be authentically who you are, sharing that, and being able to let that come through so that people can actually relate to you and what you're saying and how you're saying it. And they can also tell with that, as you're sharing and being authentic, as to if, and others have said this already, as to if you're really hearing what it is that they have a problem with, what it is that they're saying as they may, comment or engage on your, whatever, your live or your post or your stories. For me, that's a big thing of being authentic. When you are, people can see it. When you are being who you really are, people know it. And as well as they know when you're not really being who you are. And I've been on both sides, and I'd rather be who I am, a little crazy, whatever, I'd rather do that than not. So basically, that's my tip. Be who you are, no matter what that is, whether you're quirky, whether you got this issue or that issue, or where you wear a cap or you don't, or, just be you, and let that person, dang, I'm getting hot, and let the people see who you are that you want to see, and then just go from there. So that's my tip.
And so well said, Cherie. And what I'm really feeling this year more than any other year is the need and the scope and the opportunity for people just to be more themselves. Less of almost, I'm going to be careful how you interpret this, but almost less of the branding and more of you, and sharing more of the ins and outs of your lives, because, the whole know, like, and trust factor, people buy off people that they know, like, and trust. But how do they get to know you really? How do they get to like you really if they're not making that human connection with you as a human being? So the more that we're a little bit more genuine with the value, with the branding, with everything else that we teach on social media, but you show more of you, that's what makes you stand out from the crowd. And that's what creates human connection through social media. And that's when prospecting gets a little bit easier, when you drop all the formalities. Well, not all, because we still want to have a brand and we still want to give value and all those things that we talk about all the time. But I do believe there needs to be more of what you shared, Cherie. And I'm glad that you're relaxing more into that, because it will build your confidence in having more conversation and just allowing ourselves to be ourselves. Times have changed, and we really need to just, drop the facade, so to speak, on social media. But a lot of people have that imposter syndrome, or they think they have to have success, or they think they have to, be a certain rank, or, whatever it is. And they don't let people really see the real you. Like, how many of you show the real you? I bet most of you don't. But that's what's really needed, along with every other tip that we've mentioned here. So we won't keep you here any longer than we already have. I just want to thank my guests. I hope those that are listening, and I know a lot will catch a replay as well, that you get just something out of this discussion, just one little nugget or a couple of little nuggets out of, what somebody has shared here today, to sort of help you really think about how you show up on social media and how you can really get that posture with prospecting and build that confidence that you need to be really good at having good, genuine conversations, with people about your business. So if you just want to unmute for a sec to say goodbye, everybody, I just want to thank you all for your time and for being willing to share. And I really appreciate you guys, and everything that you've contributed. So thanks very much, everybody.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.